You know what it is. Unique Mecca audio, man. I'm gonna give you this one, man. This one is, gonna call Territorial. You know what I mean? To show you how, we as men, as humans, you know what I mean, as convicts, you know what I mean? As brothers from the street, we territorial. Let's get that right. You know what I mean? Territorial. All right? Now, the same way on the streets, I had my block. I call this my block. I'm on 154th Street. That's my block. You understand? Booth and T-Rod on 49th Street. That's they block. Artie Boy on 48th Street. That's they block. Slick and the family. You know what I mean? That's 112th Street. That's they block. You know? So we call these our areas. This our blocks. But then now we get locked up, so I'm going to take you out to Atwater. So now you understand about blocks, how we claim. If somebody tried to hustle on our block, we pulling out our gun, we pulling out all stops, and we stopping from hustle on our block because this is our block. Now, we in the penitentiary. Every day, you know what I mean? I go to work out at 8 o'clock, you know what I mean? In the morning. So me and my man Mario, rest in peace, Minx, you know what I mean? We're talking about Atwater right now. Me and Mario, Minx, we go work out in this area in the yard by the water fountain in the bathroom because, where the building meets like this, we go in between it, and that's where we do our dips because you ain't supposed to work out, so you got to make do with anything to get your proper workout. So the dips is where you push up like this, and that gets your chest pumped up in your back arms. You know what I mean? So that's me and Mario's area. When I was in Lee County, me and my man ER, you know what I mean? ER, we had our little area, the same little thing, but we took the little catwalk and we did our little push-ups and burpees and we kicked it all day. Big shout out to my man ER from DC. All right. So now we got me and my man Mario from DC. We in Atwater. We got this little area we claiming, and that's where we work out every morning, 8 o'clock. Whoever goes out there at 8 o'clock in the morning, they pick their little areas where they're going to work out at, and everybody just subconsciously respect man's choice of where he's going to work out at to give everybody their space, like social distancing. You know what I mean? How they say be 6 feet apart, but we way more than 6 feet apart. But this is where we work out at. And then you got the Serenos work out over here. You got the Bloods work out over here. You got the Crips work out over here. You got the Latin Kings work out over here. You understand what I'm saying? You got, everybody pick their little area that they work out, and you know what I mean? But like I said, Mario, rest in peace, Minx, he from DC, so it wasn't like a New York and DC thing. That was just my brother. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody know that's my brother. You know what I mean? So this way me and him work out at. So no matter who go out there, what race, whatever, they know don't go in that area because that's where Unique and Mario work out at. They don't say that's a DC area, that's a Unique area. But they did have DC areas and New York areas, but that's not what we had. We had our little area we work out in. Then right up the, up the walkway a little bit, you had a little picnic table. You know what I mean? That's where the white boys used to, I don't want to say white boys because some people might get offended, but we're going to call them Europeans. You know what I mean? That's where the Europeans went and worked out at. And, they hung out there. Even if they're not working out there, they hanging out there. But then now, if you come out after 10 o'clock count, after, lunchtime or whatever, me and Mario not out there working, so somebody else go out there, and that's their area from, 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock or whatever. And then after dinner, 5 o'clock to whatever, that's whoever goes in that area. And, we just respect each other's space and time. You understand what I'm saying? So now y'all paying attention to what I'm saying, right? But then now, you got the Europeans, you understand what I'm saying? The Aryan Brotherhood, the dirty white boys, the skinhead, you know what I mean? They had a table that they claimed over in this area, you understand? But they was pushing it to the extreme, you know what I mean? They were saying that was their table. Like I said, if me and Mario not working out there and somebody else decide to go work out there, they're going to go work. You understand what I'm saying? And, get their push-ups in, they burpees or whatever they going to do, and they going to chill in that area. And we already know that, we just go there at 8 o'clock. So we get there at 8 o'clock and we establish that's ours. Somebody else might get there at 12:30, like I said, at 4:30 and establish that's theirs. But these Europeans, being that it wasn't a lot of them, they wanted to make a stance because it wasn't a lot of them and they didn't have too many areas, to pick because the yard was so filled with minorities. You understand what I'm saying? So they picked this one little area with the picnic table. So while they got this one little area with the picnic table, they consider that as theirs. But they took it to the extreme now, to the extreme where they felt like even when they not out there, You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody supposed to be in that area sitting on that picnic table. So, I mean, it's a big-ass yard that got 3 sections to it. You understand? They might be walking or way at the other end of the field because they not working out. They not sitting down. It might be only 2 or 3 of them out there. It might be 5 of them out there. But they not over in that area working out. But then now, if another brother, you know what I mean, if another black person go and sit on that table just chilling, you know what I mean, kicking it, because there's nobody at the table, that whole other yard is empty because that's the baseball field. So there's nobody out there. So now let's say a brother go sit on the table and the Europeans see him from way at the other end of the yard. You understand? They're going to walk all the way around the yard, take 3-4 minutes to get there. By the time they get there, they're going to come and they're going to tell whoever's at the table that that's their area. That's where they work out at. You know what I mean? And then they be like, yo, but ain't nobody here. That's why I sat down. They're like, nah, this is our area. And then they'll go sit down on the table. Now, dudes, you know, we all the way out west, and this is right after the Obama administration. You know what I mean? Like doing the Obama, this is about 2018 when I was there. So this is, you know, like right after the Obama administration when he came in and he gave people hope by, you know, doing the clemency program and got out over 2,000 inmates. So everybody started having hope now and trying to get out the way and trying to program and, you know, trying to duck things that we normally didn't duck, you know what I mean, during the Bush era. You know what I mean? But the Obama era, when he gave us hope, we chilled out. Y'all remember that I'm giving y'all wisdom that y'all ain't know where our mentality was at. Bush era, we didn't care. That's when I was, you know, selling drugs, you know what I mean, making knives, making wine, drinking wine, smoking weed, was doing everything. I call it dirty urine in the joint. I call it the introduction of narcotics in the joint. But all this at the beginning, you know, back during the Bush era. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, and the Clinton era. You understand what I'm saying? But when Obama came in and started giving light, when Obama started giving light that they letting people out with life sentences, with murders and everything else, you understand? Because a couple of them slipped through the Obama thing. But that's why I give a big shout out to, you know, big Donald T. I don't want to say his name because I don't know how YouTube got at. When he came in, he allowed kingpins to get out, killers to get out, and everything else. But anyway, back to where I was at. We trying to duck all of that. Everybody trying to duck things that got any goddamn sense. Because now we see there's hope because our brothers that used to walk and work out with us is home now from the Obama administration clemency program. So these Europeans will come and tell you, yo, this is my table. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, dudes don't want no issues. They say, all right, they go walk and go sit over at the bleachers or whatever. You know what I mean? And then they'll just sit there. It might be 3 of them and they'll just sit there. But we, you know, we could crush them because it's way more than us than all that. But, you know, we ain't on that. We thinking to go home now. But they thinking of solidifying themselves in the joint and claiming something the same way we claim the blocks on the street that I started out with at the beginning. So now they sit down at the table, not doing nothing. They just don't want us at the table because they call that theirs. And I'm talking about this from 7 in the morning to, you know, 8 at night when they close the yard. They monitoring this table. They don't want nobody sitting on this table. So they done made a pact with themselves that if any of y'all out there, because, you know, we have meetings, we call them cars. Car meetings. Cars is like, you know, the Bloods, the Crips, you know, the New York car, you know, people from New York, people from D.C., people from Minnesota, people from Chicago, people from Baltimore. So, you know, you call a group meeting and you situate how you're going to set yourself up to make sure that you carried and you respected in the joint. You understand? So these Europeans, they had their little meeting saying that if any of y'all, if any of us is out here, and we see anybody sitting at this table, any black person sitting at this table, we make sure they don't sit there because we don't deal with blacks and blacks can't sit where we sit and we can't sit behind them. So we're going to go back to like before the civil rights movement when you had black and white water fountains. They consider this as a white table in the federal prison yard. So could you imagine that? You understand? But like I said, you know, we got hope from Obama, so a lot of us been chilling. But then now here come my man come in there, you know, from D.C., you know, and another one from Philly, you know, and another brother from New York, the East Coast brothers. They come in and they older cats, you know what I mean? They like my age I am now. You understand? Back then I was like early 50s. You know what I mean? Late 40s, early 50s. So, you know, I'm thinking twice. Now, here the older heads come there, and they not even feeling that West Coast politics with all the racism, because we from the East Coast where we don't push the racism like that. Man is man. You know, regardless what color, skin, whatever, it's how he conduct himself and, you know, the code of honor that he have to respect himself as a man, to honor his word and things of that nature, right? So now These brothers come there, you know, DC, New York, and Philly. They all sitting out there in the yard. You understand what I'm saying? They walking to the older brothers. They get tired. They go sit out in the yard. And then here come these white boys. Let me correct that. Here come these Europeans. You know, I say that, but it's no disrespect when I say white boys. But, you know, that's what they call. They even call themselves the dirty white boys. But, you know, this is YouTube, so people going to pick, oh, he said white boy. But nah. So we're going to, you know, play the YouTube game. So here come the Europeans. You know what I mean? Because we know they came from Europe. So the Europeans come over there and they tell these three brothers, yo, you know, this our table. So, you know, the brothers just come on the compound. They on no tolerance. They way in California. They from New York, DC, and Philly. So they at the other end of the country. So they ain't trying to hear that. So they look at me and say, hold up, man, wasn't nobody over here. So we sitting down, we chilling. They say, yeah, but this is, the Europeans said, nah, this is our table. You know what I mean? You're like, nah, you know what I mean? And, you know, ain't no your table, man. This government table is nobody here. We sitting here. You know what I mean? So the Europeans said, nah, but, you know, everybody out here respect us. And that's what the whole thing is about. They're trying to get respect because their numbers wasn't that high. But don't get it twisted. Those Europeans was violent. They pushed that knife. You know what I mean? They push that knife, especially on each other to keep their car clean. If somebody come in as a rat, do something, you know, crazy or whatever, mixed with the black race, they push that knife and gut them to the extreme where they trying to kill them. You know what I mean? Over the littlest things, because they're the smallest minority in the prison, as you know. So they trying to make the biggest noise, the biggest stance. You understand what I'm saying? So now they trying to defend this table in the corner of the yard. And there's nobody over there, but they're calling this their table. So the black brother said to him, yeah, see, I said black brother, everybody say something, the black boy. You know what I mean? The black boy said to him, you know what I mean? Because y'all want to play semantics. You know, well, the black boy said to him, yo, man, look, get up out my face with that, man. I'm not even trying to hear that. So the white dude said, yo, everybody, and he just hooked off on bong, bong, bong. Gave him a 3-piece, knocked him out. European on the ground, his homeboy sitting there looking crazy. So the other two homies knocked them out. You know what I mean? So now it's getting ready to be a race ride because the blacks jumped on the whites, and never do you put your hands on another race. Automatically, that's war. You understand what I'm saying? Like if somebody in your car violate, even if they steal, you understand what I'm saying? Whatever they do, if they owe debts or whatever, the other cars will come to your car and say, yo, such and such did this, and we want to move on them, but we bringing it to you. You know what I'm saying? So you can handle it. You understand? He owes us some money and we want our money. So then, you know, we'll tell him, all right, we're going to find out what's going on. And if he owes you some money, we going to take care of it. We going to punish him, and we going to make sure you get your money, because we on man time and we don't believe in robbing nobody in here, because this is not the environment for it. Everybody respect everybody. So if you take something, you pay. If you gamble, you lose, you pay, and so on and so on. So anyway, so now it's getting ready to be a big old race, right? You know what I mean? So now all the blacks got to come together. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs. You understand what I'm saying? They all got to come together. You know what I mean? The Latin Kings, because they East Coast, even though they Latin. So we all come together now, because out west, you got to remember the Europeans, aka white boys, they run with the Serenos, the Border Brothers, and all the Mexican gangs out there, because they identify, you know, them of one of their own. Like they could mix with them, but they can't mix with us. So now it's getting ready to be a big old race fight, because these brothers knocked them out. You know what I mean? In the yard over the table. You understand what I'm saying? But now, screw the Obama administration. If they're going to jump on, no disrespect to Obama, but if they're going to jump on the brothers, you understand? If they're going to jump on the brothers, now all the brothers got to come together, and freedom is out the window, because now we're defending our honor, you know what I mean? And our manhood, you understand? And another brother, because we're not going to have another race kill another brother with us there. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you a prison, you know, Lee County, where something that happened, you know what I mean? Where the white boys, you know, damn, they killed this black dude. I don't remember if he died or not, but we'll get into that later in another video. But anyway, so now it's a big thing. They grouping up, so they call lockdown. They locked the jail down, put everybody in their cells, because, you know, word got out that was going on, because certain people didn't want no parts of it. They dropped what they call a kite, where they write a note to the people and tell them, yo, they're getting ready to fight, you know what I mean, in the yard, because black dude, da-da-da. And they tell SIS everything. That's a special investigation service for the prison, like the FBI or the, you know, detectives. So now they get whiffed, they lock it down, and they call out who they call the shot callers, and they try to figure out what's going on. They call you out the cell. That's a whole nother thing, how they do the lockdowns. I'm going to do a video on that too. Might do that today right after this. But anyway, so They know it's getting ready to be a big old war out there. You understand what I'm saying? So now they called us all out there and they locked up the ones that was fighting or whatever. So we all agreed to wait till he come out to see what he want to do. You know, the three brothers from DC, you know, Philly and New York. So now we all out there and, you know, the tension is high. The tension is high. We ready to go to war because we're not going to have them disrespect us. But all this was over a table, man. Over a table. A government table in the yard that nobody was sitting on. These Europeans felt no black person was supposed to sit on this government table in the middle of this government penitentiary when we got them outnumbered. You understand what I'm saying? Now, even the littlest dudes like me, I'm going to the law library every day. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and that's all I cared about because, like I said, the Obama administration gave me hope. You know what I mean? And this is 2 years before I got my release. But now even I had to go, you know what I mean? Come out there, you know, strapped up, ready to go to war when I didn't want to go to war. But I had to go to war. I got to defend my race, my people. You understand? Because now we got all the Serranos and Border Brothers, and we get along with them. But when it's time for war, you got to pick a side. So they picked their side with the Europeans. We picked our side, you know, with the blacks, the Bloods, the Crips. They picked their side with us, the GDs, everybody, you know what I mean? Black Gorilla family, you know, all the blacks got to come together now, where normally we might have issues with each other for whatever, you know, little geographical thing. But when another race get involved, we don't play that. At all, we don't play that. You understand? Just so you understand. So that's why now you see dudes say, oh, I don't mess with him because he's from this set and that set. Nah, when something happened with another race, all the sets come together. Because now we're defending our black pride. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? When they let the brothers out the hole, the older brothers, they say, yo, if any of them come say anything to me, I'm knocking them out. Right now, I'm not even going to allow them to even sit at the table. So now you all sometime that, nah, that ain't no European table. You know what I mean? The Europeans ain't got no table. Because there was only that one table they was claiming out of the 30 tables in the yard, 15 tables in the yard. But now the brother's in his body that they even had the gall to say something to him. His stance is like, since when do a European say anything to me when they're my captive? I don't care if they cousins or nephews is the inmates with us. They still Europeans. So my brother was on that time. Say like, nah, they ain't got no table. I'm ready to go to war over this table. You understand what I'm saying? So now, when the shot calls and everybody get together, you understand what I'm saying? Now we got to talk with the head of reason. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, we got the Obama hope. You know what I mean? Where even, you know, the Serranos and, you know, Border Brothers and even the Europeans, everybody's thinking in that manner. You understand what I'm saying? That, you know, they got a chance at going home and getting their time cut because they watching people go home around them and in other jails, people they know and things like that. So now when we come together and we have the meeting, we all ready to fight. Everybody got their knives out there. And that's why I'm telling you youngins, it ain't worth it. Don't go to prison because just like these older cats got into it over this table, but being it was with another race, now all us younger cats, middle-aged cats and senior age cats, we all got to come out there because when it's time for war, those Europeans and those Serranos and Border Brothers and all of that I'm telling you about, they don't care that you saying I ain't got nothing to do with it. Or I'm from Chicago. I'm not from New York or DC or Philly. Or, you know what I mean? I'm from, you know, Cali. You know, I'm from here. I'm from there. When they move, they going to move on anything with a black skin, man. So now you got to fight for something that you might not even believe in. You don't want to have nothing to do with none of that. But you got to fight. You got to fight. Because if you don't fight, then we going to check you in. You know what I mean? Because if you don't fight, we going to check you in. So you young boys listening, imagine you see us and some old heads arguing over a damn government table. You understand what I'm saying? But with another race. You understand what I'm saying? Where now it's going to be racial. You can't say, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He from over there. You know what I mean? He an old head. You know what I mean? I'm from the Midwest. Or I'm from the dirty South. No, it ain't none of that. You got to get your knife and you got to strap up because when them Europeans and them Serranos and Border Brothers and all that, when they start swinging that goddamn knife, when they start swinging that knife, they swing it at anything black. So you better have your knife to protect you. All right? So if that's what you want to be a part of, you let me know. You know what I mean? But it got out there. And, you know, before it got that ugly over the table, the voice of reasoning, you know, we got together with them. We talked to them and we told them straight up. And, you know, the black dude stood on what it was. They said, yo, dude was disrespectful. Nobody was at the table. I was sitting at the table. You know what I mean? That's it. You understand what I'm saying? So now it's like You know what I mean? You know, okay, let me give you this before I end so you understand. Let's say we go out there and you got the Sereno table or whatever. You understand? We know that's the Sereno table. When the Serenos is out there, we move. So we sitting on a table, or we are a black table, you know what I mean? A DC table. If a Sereno's sitting on a DC table, you understand what I'm saying? And there's nobody in the yard is empty because it's cold out that night or nobody came out that day or whatever. And dudes walking the track, they stop, they sit at any table. But now if a DC dude is out there and then he wants to sit down, he goes over here to the table and the Sereno or whoever, they would know, yo, okay, this is their table and it's all right, my bag, and they'll walk off. But they're not going, the DC dude's not going to come home and say, yo, get up off my table. You don't belong here. This is our table. No, but the Europeans was on that. You understand? Meaning, I've done sat at, at the Spanish table. You're not with them there, because you ain't going to do that. You understand? Just like ain't no Sereno sitting at no DT table unless they talking to a DC dude. When, the DC cars out there, or when the New York cars out there, the blood cars out there. But like, it get a little cold out there in the winter. So when everybody ain't out there, you just sit at whatever table. But if that race come and you recognize that that's that race table, you respectfully say, okay, my bag, homie. And you get up and you walk off and you go find another empty table from another race or your race that's closer to where you want to walk at. And it's just a respect thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's a respect thing. But like I said, under no circumstances, you're going to go sit, at no Sereno table or no DC table, no European table, no Latin King table, while everybody's out there in the yard. Because they got to have somewhere to sit. So when they out there, that's theirs. So, if nobody's out there and you sit down somewhere, you understand what I'm saying? You're welcome to sit there. But when one of them, if it's one of them, if it's 10 of y'all and it's one of them pull up, then we know to respectfully say, okay, my bag, homie, and walk away and go sit somewhere else. Because we might be sitting at their table because it's at a different angle from the tower or whatever, where the tower can't peek to read our lips because they had the microphones, they stick out the window and they can hear what you're saying and all that. So we might be planning something, plotting something or whatever that we don't want them to hear about, and they stick the microphone out. So we might want to, park over there at the Latin King table. You understand? But we ain't going to do it to Latin Kings there. But the Latin Kings is not going to come over there like those Europeans came to those older brothers and say, yo, this is our table. You ain't allowed to sit there. And the brother told me there was nobody here. When all he had to do when he said, when he came over there was say, yo, excuse me, we trying to sit down. You understand? And the brothers would have moved. Because we recognize that that's the European table. But they take it to the extreme. They didn't even want to sit there. They'll come over there, tell you they want to sit down. That's their table. You know what I mean? Like they want to sit down. Now you get up and you move and go sit somewhere else. And then they'll walk off and now the table is back empty. The table is back empty. They come tell you to move, and they don't even want to sit down. I just want you to understand the mentality where I'm at, man. That's that geographical BS, man. All right, so I'm going to just keep this short because I want to give y'all something because I ain't dropped nothing yesterday. But just so you understand, man, you youngins don't get involved in it. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it because like I said, just from that, you would have had to jack your bid off if it would have decided to go to war. Whether you wanted to or not. Because whether you're in the yard where it jump off or you in the unit, just by you being black or you being, white or you being Spanish, somebody gonna jump on you from whatever group that, you warring with, even if you ain't got nothing to do with it. Because you're supposed to do something if your people do something. And if you choose not to do something, that don't mean the next, fraction, that's the opposition at the moment is not going to put that knife in you because you say, oh, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't mess with them dudes. No, you don't got a choice. That's how that joint is, man. I'm going to wrap that up, man. Make sure you go cop a Roaring Holler, man. You know what I mean? I got the audio book where I'm telling the stories just like this, man. I put the sound effects and everything in it. So, it's a little pricey. You know what I mean? It's a little pricey, but, it was worth it because, like I said, I got sound effects. I had to pay engineers and everything. I did mine different. I ain't want to sound like no square reading the book like, it's a Jackie Collins book or something. You know what I mean? It ain't no love story. This a hood story. So I told it just like I'm talking now. So if you want to hear more of me kicking that, that unique talk, go cop a Roaring Harlem, man. You go get it at roaringharlem.com. You know what I mean? The audio book, roaringharlem.com. and you get the paperback book, you know what I mean? $30 for a copy, you know what I mean? It's almost 400 pages, so I had to pay more to print it up, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? If you want a signature, it's slightly more. But email us at MeccaAudioBusiness@gmail. MeccaAudioBusiness@gmail, but you go right to the website, A Roaring Harm, to cop the book. Like, subscribe, and don't forget, this channel right here is bananas. I give it to you real, raw, and uncut. I just gave you enough to think about if you want to go to prison. I just gave you enough to think about if you want to go to prison. I'm telling you it ain't worth it. So if you don't understand it ain't worth it, it's on you. Go in there, but like I always say, know when you get picked up, know to shut the F up. But I'm telling you, don't get involved so you don't have to make the choice to shut the F up. All right, so we out, man.
Get his book out now.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Bruh.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops. Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. They be horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.